Do you conduct a business in the Plenty Valley or surrounding area? If so, consider Plenty Valley FM 88.6 for your business promotion. Our rates are reasonable and results positive. Call 9404 2111 during business hours for more information.
And we are going to, as I said, we're going to be crossing live to the Diamond Creek CFA Open Day and also the Epping CFA Open Day today. And Diamond Creek CFA is at 83 Main Hurstbridge Road, Diamond Creek. And the Epping one, of course, Epping is in 2 O'Hearns Road, Epping. And right now, we're going to cross to our very own Bill McGilvray from the Diamond Creek.
Yes, that's right, Steve. Myself and Elf, we're here at the CFA Day, Open Day at Diamond Creek, and Plenty Valley FM is doing a first today, and I'm very proud of our technicians, Brian and Nick. And we're bringing you information from 2 locations at successive locations, one here at Diamond Creek and the other one at Epping. And here at Diamond Creek, we've got an old fire truck from the museum. We've got all the trucks out for people to inspect as well. There's 3 of those here. We've got face painting, we've got kids dress-ups, we've got games, we've got colouring, we've got a fire, a bouncing castle, we've got drinks, and also sausage sizzle, and there's a game out there where the kids can push a fire truck along with a hose, and also some demonstrations coming up today. So that's what's happening here at Diamond Creek, and we'll pass over to Craig Smith at Epping. So Craig, what's happening at Epping?
Thanks, Bill. Yes, we're here at the Epping CFA Open Day at 2 O'Hearns Road, Epping. I'm here with Rich Stahl.
Hello, listeners.
And, Rich, why don't you tell us what people can expect here at Epping?
Well, today we've got a bunch of activities, very family-friendly, including an animal farm, a jumping castle, colouring corner, meet and greet your CFA members. There's a Captain Koala and a puppet show. And there's lots of brigade activities and information.
There's also the ubiquitous sausage sizzle.
It smells amazing here.
And a coffee cart for the grown-ups. So come on down.
Coffee sounds good.
We are here until 2 p.m. at Epping, 2 O'Hearns Road. But now back to Steve in the studio.
Yes, thank you, guys. It sounds good, though. The coffee and the sausage sizzle sounds fantastic. And now we're actually going to be crossing live to Bill McGilvray at the Diamond Creek CFA Open Day.
That's right, Steve. We're at the CFA Open Day at Diamond Creek, and got a bit of background noise, but that's what happens in OBs. And I've got Elf here, and Elf, you've got a guest on for us right now.
Yeah, well, we'd like to welcome Group Officer Peter Barry to the mic, and Peter's just going to fill us in on some of the various events and update us with some of the state news.
Alf and Bill, good morning to you and good morning to your listeners right across the valley. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, and we really appreciate the support of 88.6. You're a really important part of how communities start to prepare for the emergency season. So I'd like to talk about 3 things that communities should be doing now to get ready for the bushfire season. The fire danger period for this part of the world usually comes in around mid-November, and we're doing the planning for that at the moment. So already up around Mildura and Horsham in the western part of the state, the fire danger period has already been declared. So with the start of the harvesting season and the drier than normal predictions up there, then the fire danger period is already in place. So we need property owners to be starting to clear their properties now. If you're on a property where you're able to burn off rubbish, as long as you ring up and make sure that we know that you are burning, then that's fine, and have that out by the declared time. But start doing property clean-up now. The second thing we'd like people to do is to refamiliarise themselves with the warnings and emergencies. So in Victoria, we've got moderate, high, extreme and catastrophic bushfire warnings. You'll see those signposted around the community. The moderate is green, which is plan and prepare. High, which is yellow, which is be ready to act, and we do mean be ready to act. Extreme is to take action to protect life and property, and catastrophic is really about your own survival and to leave the bushfire risk areas. So communities really want to do that planning now, this weekend, this afternoon, not wait until next week. Put it off for another week. Start familiarising yourself and have those conversations with your families now, because what we find is those big days creep up. People sometimes are prepared, but they're often unprepared, and they're the ones that there's a fair bit of angst for, because the reality is, for those extreme and catastrophic days, if fires do begin, our ability to pull those fires up in the first half an hour is pretty limited. We've got to get a lot of resources in place so that we can bring those fires under control. What we want is to be people outside of those operational areas so that we can move freely and we don't have to worry about protecting lives. We can deal with the property risk. So it really is about people taking responsibility for their own safety, getting their preparation done and having a plan for their property. Even if you're on the outlying areas of Diamond Creek where you're backing onto the bush, or if you're backing onto particularly the Plenty Gorge, fires will start quickly and they'll escalate quickly. We'll certainly bring them under control in time, and the 2019-20 fires showed that a relatively small fire in the gorge, once the wind picks up, really took it all the way down to the outskirts of Bundoora. So it's important that people have a plan, and if they've made a plan, react to the plan. Don't see the smoke and say, look, we think it'll probably be all right, or just ignore it. If you need to go shopping down at Greensboro Plaza for the rest of the day, or go in and take in the new movie, then if your plan was to get out, then get out early is really the risk. So in summary, Bill and Alf, there are the three things. Think about clearing your properties, familiarise yourselves with a warning and emergency information that we have available, but have a plan for your properties. That way, the fire services and the community can work together to keep people and property safe.
Great message there, Peter. And I live on the gorge, and the fire that started in 1920, where I was down at Torquay, and I was hearing about it, and I got home, and my mate was watching all these people walk up one of the streets, which was one street back from the bushland area, all walking up in their thongs and shorts, no shirts, to Gork. Now, that's one of the things that you don't want people to do, isn't it?
There's a few things we don't want people to do. So CFA's mandate is first to look after life and then property. So people are our principal concern. Gawking doesn't help anyone. So we need people to stay out of our area of operations, but just consider that if they are going one street back, it's probably a 40-degree plus day. They may have their kids with them, so staying safe out in those conditions is really important, which again, if you've prepared your family, if you've understood that you may have to go two streets back to stay out of the area of operations, you need to plan for that, and you need to dress appropriately and take water with you so that you're able to do that. That's exactly right. The other thing we don't want is drones on the fire ground. We've had instances, certainly at the gorge, where people have decided to not only gawk, and we've had to ask people to move out of the gorge, they put drones up. When they put drones up, we can't fly aircraft. And so they restrict our ability to aerially bomb. So if you do have a drone, that's nice. Take it down the beach or somewhere else, but please don't have it near our fire grounds.
Beautiful. All right, so that's a great message, and thanks, Sal, for that, and thank you very much, Peter. And we'll be back in about another hour's time, so it's back to the studio, and we're coming from the CFA Open Day at Diamond Creek. Don't forget that address, Steve. Bye for now.
Yes, that is great advice indeed, and that's true. I've been clearing our property, been doing a bit of burning off, getting rid of all the branches and the leaves and things like that that's around, and been doing burning off at our property as well, getting ready for the fire season to start. So remember, if you're in the area, head on down to the Diamond Creek CFA Open Day, which is at 83 Main Hurstbridge Road, I believe. Now, we're going to actually cross now over to the Epping CFA, and Craig Smith at the Epping CFA.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, we are here at the Epping CFA Open Day at 20 Hearns Road, Epping. I'm here with Rich Stahl.
Hello.
And in a moment we're going to be talking to Rowan Stevens about the history of Epping CFA. But just before we do that, I just want to remind everyone that 88.6 Plenty Valley FM is the local designated emergency broadcaster. So if there is an emergency, such as a fire, floods or any other emergency, you can tune in to 88.6 Plenty Valley FM for more information. Welcome, Rowan. Yeah, we've taken you away from your chefing duties at the Sausage Sizzle.
We're having a short break we'll be cooking all day.
That's wonderful. And the crowds are starting to come in, so they'll be enjoying those sausages. But we've invited you over to ask you a little bit about the history of Epping CFA.
Yeah, certainly. So this station is our second site that we've been on over the years. So originally over on Houston Street, near where the police station is and the old City Whittlesea building back in the 1940s. And it was actually in the 1980s, so we've moved to the current site here. And this is about the second renovation we've actually had during that time. So we started off as a small shed over at Houston Street, relatively small shed here on the corner of Hearns Road and Epping Road. And now we've got quite a large complex after our most recent renovation about 10 years ago.
And so why was this particular site chosen?
More so where the growth was. So if you look, so I've been here for nearly 25 years now, and effectively Epping nearly stopped here where the fire station was back then. So we had cows over the back fence, and now, of course, we've got suburbia right the way through Epping, Malert, heavily urbanised now, right the way up towards Donnybrook.
And how many fire trucks and units work out of this particular station?
So 3 trucks and 2 support vehicles operate here. So we run a pumper, which is our urban firefighting appliance for house industrial fires, for vehicle accidents. We run a tanker, which is our off-road appliance for grass and scrub fires. So a lot of the heavier, if we call it the summertime work, that CFA is well known for. And we also run a dedicated road accident rescue vehicle from here too, which has been one of the features of this brigade as a specialist response capability that we've had for some time.
So what kind of changes have you actually seen, like in the way that you approach, I don't know, emergency management, that type of thing over the years?
Quite a large difference. So if I reflect back when I started, transferred here back in 2000, it was a station that was doing a little bit over 200 calls a year. In terms of risk profile, a lot quieter than what we see now. Yep. Now we'll do over 600 calls a year now, so we've tripled our workload during that time. If you look at the membership base, we've got a membership base it's roughly similar to what it was back then, so we've actually increased that demand quite significantly. Yeah. So quite a busy brigade, and from an industrial and residential perspective, it's exploded with growth. So,
okay. And what has kind of led to that kind of rise in cases, or 600 cases?
Just more people.
More people. Okay.
More people, more infrastructure. So if you look at the average week that we'll do, a lot of fire alarms that we'll generally deal with, a lot of car accidents, unfortunately. So quite a lot of work in that space, and we still do a number of decent structure fires as well. Okay. So fairly busy brigade.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And you obviously have quite a mix between the urban and the open space.
We do, yeah. Epping's built up quite a bit over the years. So we tend to find now our grass and scrubland areas that we used to have practically anywhere north from the station a lot of them actually been built on now. So our Epping is very much more covered by suburbia and in industrial estates now. So it's quite a busy area, and that's why our workload's increased significantly with it.
Terrific. And is there anything else that you would like to share with us about Epping CFA or CFA generally while we've got you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big open day today, so certainly invite everyone to come down. And it's also the time of year where we actually look to recruit quite heavily as well. So,
and it is time right now to cross to our outside broadcast team at the Diamond Creek CFA outside broadcast.
The CFA Open Day at Diamond Creek with Bill and Alf. And Alf, our next guest is a local brigade man.
Yeah, one of the local team here. So I would like to introduce Lieutenant Bruce Selleck. and he's going to talk about preparation, being prepared for what's upcoming.
Yeah, thanks for that. Look, it's really important. Preparation is key, and we want to try and engage with the community. And so my role here, being the community safety coordinator, is to try and educate people enough so that if we can stop a truck having to come out to you because you're not going to have an awful day, then that's what we want to try and do. So there's probably a couple of key messages I'd really like to talk to our audience about today. Firstly, summer's or spring weather's finally turning good for us.
At last.
At last, we've had a bit of a wait, but we're getting there. So firstly, I'm probably like everyone else, is that barbecue time comes. So we drag out the barbecues, dust them off, all that sort of stuff. Look, it's really important, especially if we haven't used the barbie since last year, or even if we have, just to do a bit of a safety check. Get a little bottle, a spray bottle with some soapy water and spray your connections. Turn it on in a safe way and make sure that you don't have a gas leak. You'd be surprised at how many calls we get to be with new barbecues, and there could be a faulty component on it. We had it the other day. Or just the barbie's just got a bit old over winter.
Yep.
So there's some information on how to look after that properly.
Yeah. The hose could have
perished. Yeah. And even in the joint of the hose, like where the nozzle goes into the gas bottle, like there's a little rubber O-ring that's on that.
Yep.
That's the thing that normally lets go the most as well. So if people are in the area and they want to pop into the station here, we've got some little how to enjoy your barbecue safely tips that we'd love to pass out to them. I suppose, and the other part on from that is, and what Head Group Officer Barry on before, giving us a broader state view, but in our local area, we really want people to start to prepare their properties now for the summer season coming, because before we know it, the warm weather will be here, the fire danger period will be in place, which means there'll be no burning off to clean up, all that sort of stuff. So on that note, there's a few things that we need to do. Firstly, if people are going to do any burning off, they need to make sure they comply with the council bylaws. But moreover, just for us, we need to make sure you register your burn off, right? So you can do that at vicfirepermits.gov.au, or you can ring a 1-800 number to register online. It's really important to try and do that, because what it stops is unwanted call out from the truck.
Yeah.
So if I can maybe quote that number to the listeners now. So if they want to register their burn off, 1-800 668 511. So that's 1-800 668 511.
Can you also do it on the EMV app?
No, you can't. So the only two ways. So it's just the Vic Fire Permits online, so you can do that online, or you've got to call it through. So that's the only ways you can do it.
Okay.
And it's and with that burning off as well, there are some pointers to that on how to do it safely. So make sure you don't leave the fire unattended, all that sort of stuff, because we don't want it to get out of control.
And you don't want any bush around it, do you?
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And look, that's what happens sometimes. That we think, like when if you're out camping, people will put their fire out and they think they've done it, but there's still heat buried underneath. So
yeah. I think it's a case of not being too little, too late.
That's right. So wetter is better. When you do this stuff, wetter is better.
Yeah.
The other part, I suppose, is just talking about the warnings and emergency information. So, firstly, you guys on the radio are a key point for people to get local information. The Vic Emergency app is really key. Like, we've had it for a number of years now, and it is a fantastic tool that tells you what's happening in your area as well. We've learned a lot from the days of Black Saturday and stuff, where people were very insular and they didn't get a lot of information easily. So the Vic Emergency app is just crucial for that sort of stuff, so you know what's going around, which goes with our overall message, and that is, if it's fire danger in the area, if it's a high fire, extreme fire danger day, or a code red day, that that's extreme weather conditions, right? So make sure you have a fire plan. Yeah. Make sure you leave it early.
And what do you mean by a fire plan, so people understand that?
Yeah, well, thank you for picking up on that. See, we're all segueing quite nicely here. So we've got a brochure CFA put together about leaving early. So bushfire survival plan. So it talks about what you should do going up early. So everybody should have a plan on what to do when it's an extreme fire danger day, right? Or when it's, when you're in a code, when an extreme emergency. So waiting until you see smoke in the area or waiting until you see flames, it's too late to be doing that now, because there's going to be other people on the roads. There's going to be some roads may be closed, all that sort of stuff. There'll be emergency appliances going all over the place. So we really want people to go first. Look, I'm here in this urban area, and we've got a fire plan. So I've got young teenage kids and older adult children. Our fire plan is really simple. If it goes into extreme fire danger, they all go to my parents' place down in East Bentley. Yeah. Right? So it's just out of the area so that you're safe. So that's an important part.
It's a basic plan. It's something even on sort of like in residential health, and have a similar plan even with my neighbour regarding our animals.
Exactly that. Right? So, we have people that ask, when we talk about rescue and all that stuff, do we include animals? And, it's really hard to say no, but yes, we do. Like in some we talk to landholders about livestock support and what they do about their livestock. But, unfortunately, like people's pets and stuff like that, the focus can be sometimes more on people and not the pets. So we need you as a pet owner as well to include them in your plan. Yep. Yeah? Like that's really important.
Don't go back for them.
Look, no, don't. Unfortunately, do not go back for them. It's, because it can just go so wrong so quickly. So.
And you mentioned about road issues. If you've got horses and you've got a float and you're trying to get the horses out and you've got the float and there's 7 other neighbours who've got the same thing, it's clogging up the roadway. So make sure that your horses are stable in safe areas during these high fire danger days.
That's right, and exactly. And part of your plan, which you can use the leaving early template that we've got here, which, like I said before, people are most welcome to come down to the station and grab some. You can find it on the cfa.vic.gov.au. Have a look there. Yep. You can download it. But it's really important that some of your planning is tied around the messaging you may get. So a normal advice is like if there's smoke in the area. So if there's something going on, but there's smoke in the area, so we're letting people know. A watch and act is where it's escalating. So, we're moving on to now where, there'll be...
danger.
There's danger. There's the developing incident in the area. So need to do there. An emergency warning, that means you're in imminent danger. So, we would really hope that everybody's just well out of the way when an emergency warning comes in. Then prepare to evacuate now. That's the extreme end of it. So that's, we've really got down to tin tacks with this sort of stuff.
And don't expect the fire truck to be in your driveway.
No, look, we'd love to. We'd love to be able to put a fire truck in everyone's property, but there's just not enough. There's just not enough. Even like in this area here, even if we call in for support, which we do in our neighbouring group and brigades around us, they're all going to do that with, if we call in for some FRV appliances to come in and help do some property protection as well, there's just not going to be enough appliances to put a truck on everyone's house. So that's why we need this community engagement. We need everyone to make sure that their gutters are clear, that there's no combustible material stacked up against your house. Simple things like, make sure you don't have your motormo fuel and stuff like that stored next to flammable goods within your garage. That sort of thing. Have a plan. Have a plan so that if you get a watch and act alert in your area, that should be the trigger for your plan to be enacted.
Beautiful.
Or if it's an extreme fire danger day, that's what you should be able to do. And you can go to the CFA website throughout the year or the Vic Emergency app, and it'll tell you, like a 3-day forward or as well
forecast,
as to what's coming up, that sort of stuff. So,
beautiful. All right, thank you very much for coming on today, Bruce, and getting those messages out. And I do stress to people that there is a leaving early A4 size pamphlet here. Come down and get it, because it's crucial to helping the CFA, but also saving your life.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce. And we're coming from the CFA Open Day at Diamond Creek, and it's back to you with Harry with Country Club.
And it is time to cross to our outside broadcast team at the Epping CFA Open Day outside broadcast. So let's go there right now.
Thank you, Harry. It's Craig Smith here with Rich Stahl.
Hello, listeners.
Hi, Richard.
At the
Hi, Craig.
Epping CFA Open Day, there's lots of families coming through to enjoy the displays and the activities that are available. And, of course, there's a sausage sizzle, so it's coming up to lunchtime. If you're thinking of what you would like to have for lunch, there's certainly plenty of sausages available and a coffee van. But here in this break, we're going to be talking to CFA member Liam Gallagher, and he's going to be talking to us about recruitment and joining the CFA. Welcome, Liam.
Hi there, Liam.
Good morning, all.
Thanks for joining us. So perhaps you could start off with telling us a little bit about the recruitment process and joining the CFA.
Yeah, so the recruitment process is pretty standardised across all of the state, and all CFA brigades follow the same process. So it's pretty simple. It's all online these days. There's no paper, and basically we ask that people apply on the website, cfa.vic.gov.au, and they'll go through to the portal, they'll fill in their details, and then there's a bit of toing and froing. And the key requirements that members need to meet is they need to have a Working with Children's check, they need to have a National Police check, and they also need to complete a medical declaration as well. Once that's all processed and there's no issues, then they'll come out at the end with a CFA member number with their local brigade, and then they'll commence their training and their journey into the CFA.
Terrific. And you were chatting to Rich earlier about the numbers of members that you were looking to recruit here at Epping in particular.
Yeah, so we're a very busy brigade, and then last financial year we hit a historic record of 620 calls that our brigade responded to across Epping and further afar in our neighbouring areas. So we're currently seeing about 40 operational members now, and to future-proof our ability to continue to respond and provide adequate service to the community, we're looking at recruiting between 20 to 25 operational firefighters to support us to get out on the trucks at all times of day, during the day, at night time, on weekends. Every bit counts. So that's what we're looking for, and I put the challenge out to the community. If you live in Epping or the nearest surrounds, feel free to sign up if you've got the time, and volunteering is something that you're interested in.
And in addition to operational firefighters, there are, of course, many other roles that people can contribute to.
That's correct. A CFA brigade is basically a small organisation. So we have many different roles that we need done. One of those is, things such as fundraising, recruitment, community engagement, and the like. So we're looking to recruit a number of non-operational roles. So between that 6 to 10 mark in 2025 is what we're looking for, to be able to support our firefighters, get out on the truck and respond to incidents.
And we were just talking before, Liam, about kind of some of the specialisations you can go into after you've done your basic training and stuff. Can you touch on the listeners about that?
Yeah, so the CFA responds to many different hazards and incidents, and here at our brigade, we're one of CFA's road crash rescue providers. So we have a specialist vehicle, and we have specialist training that allows us to go out and respond to motor vehicle accidents, industrial rescues, and those kinds of things. So it is one of 23 across the state, and it's a specialisation. But further afar, there are so many different areas that people, once they are CFA members and have completed their initial training, that they can do. Things such as being a fire investigator or managing large-scale incidents. So all that kind of stuff.
Terrific. And in the last couple of minutes before we let you go, is there anything else you would like to say to the listeners in relation to recruitment?
No, not really. I think for me, it's just, if you've ever thought about it, if you've ever had that sort of voice in the back of your head about wanting to join and give it a go, I recommend you do, because we have a lot of people that do that, and once they're in the door, they're part of the team, they're trained, and they're responding and making a difference in the community. They never want to leave. So that's my advice.
And what I've observed is that there is a lot of camaraderie, and it is clearly a very close-knit community within the team. So I would suggest that that's probably a great advantage to becoming a member.
Without a doubt, we are a second family.
Yeah, terrific.
That's great.
Thank you very much for your time, Liam. We really appreciate that.
It's awesome.
We're now going to throw back to...
Thanks, Harry. It's Bill and Elf here at Diamond Creek at 83 Main Hurstbridge Road in Diamond Creek, and it's just right in the police complex, CFA complex. Come down and see us, and there's plenty of things happening around here at the moment. And Elf, you've got Bruce Selleck back.
Yep, so we have Lieutenant Bruce Selleck back because we had such a great time. We've been having a chat about a few things. And Bruce is going to be talking to us about possibly the single biggest lifesaver is leaving early. When, where, what to take with you.
Yeah, thanks for that. So you're exactly right. The biggest issue is, or the most powerful message we get to people is leave early. So how do we know that? And the greatest tool that we've all got is the Vic Emergency app. So if we have the Vic Emergency app set up with a range of, somewhere around 10 kilometres, so that you're aware of what's going on in the area, and then you see the alerts that'll come in. So you get different ranges of alerts from just advice to a watch and act. So, and that's where we need to think about that. And your plan needs to include what you would do at those various stages. One of the biggest things that people don't think about when they're thinking about a plan to leave early, and have a couple of pathways to exit, a couple of roads, because you don't know what the traffic's going to be like. You don't know if the road that you've picked, if we think about Mainhurst Bridge Road here leading back out towards Eltham or Greensboro, on a Monday morning at 7:30 through till 9 o'clock, it is chockers.
Well, even on a Saturday lunchtime,
exactly.
It's full.
So these are the things that people need to take into account. They need to know that, think about the fact that, have a couple of ways to get out in different directions in case, the fire's coming from Hurstbridge Way or coming from the Plenty Gorge, or it's coming over the back from Kangaroo Ground. We're not going to know. So that's a really important part. A part of that is when you're in that planning mode, right? Think about livestock, think about pets. Also important information that you should have either uploaded to the cloud if you've got some tech savvy going on, or if not, hard copies in a plastic container or a small suitcase that's like a grab bag that you take. And make sure you've got some identity documents in there. Make sure you've got some medications that if you require medications, that sort of stuff there. Again, what we're doing is just always with this stuff, we plan for the worst and we always hope for the best, right? Yep. So if we go down that pathway, then it's a good thing all round. And I have questions quite often from people asking me about, where is the last resort, place of last resort or refuge, right? We just need to understand what that means. Last resort. Like our fire plan, hopefully, they should have got us out of the way. Leaving early should have got us out of the way. Listening to the messaging from the Vic Fire, from the Vic Emergency app, should have got us well out of the way. But if it hasn't, and now we're at the point where it's a last resort, we may not be able to take our pets in there. If we've got livestock like horses and stuff like that we've got into the float and off we go, we may not be able to park them up there. So those are the things that need to be thought about.
I think when I've been to some of the meetings, the people are quite shocked that the last resort has nothing. There's no amenities, there's nowhere to store it, there's no parking. It's just stand and hope.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, because it is as it says, it's last resort. Yeah. So, and what we want all the listeners to do is we don't want it to be there. We don't want you to be at the last resort, because what we want you to do is to know the fire danger ratings, use the Vic Emergency app, have a plan, right? As I touched on in the earlier segment, our plan for my family, my young family, is they go to my mum's place in East Bentley, right? There's a pickup place we got located at a park in Box Hill, like where the little train park is that's there, Olga Road. Yeah. So we meet there and do a handoff, and the kids go onto my mum's place so that they're well and truly out of the area.
I think also something we touched on in our off-air conversation was having a dry run or practice of the plan.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what you can find out, and also being in contact with your neighbours and seeing what their plans are.
Yeah. And also being aware, like with your neighbours as well, like being aware if you have elderly neighbours as well, make sure that, someone maybe in your plan, we are a community, right? So if we've got elderly neighbours, make sure that someone's looking out for them. If your plan is to, and I hope that it is, that, we've got a high fire danger day, that your plan should be already active. You should have a couple of things that you're doing at this point. And that might be just checking that you've got the Vic Emergency app loaded, that you've got your 10K radius set. that you've got your grab bag with things there just in case you need them. Maybe go next door and see the elderly people that are next door or across the road. Make sure that they're okay and they've got themselves sorted too, because that's a big part, yeah? And if I may, I just want to clarify a couple of things. Again, these are questions that I get often with the community, and I love answering them because it tells me that we're engaging with them, and that's important. So, you know, you'll see the automated signs around the district that you'll say the moderate fire danger, high fire danger, extreme fire danger, and catastrophic, which used to be code red. What that's telling us is that the risk is elevated for fire to start with, but the risk of what the fire will do during that time is elevated. So, you know, in high fire danger, it says that fires can be dangerous. They are dangerous anyway, but they're more dangerous. You know, if we go to extreme, it means that you know that there's a big risk that day, and that if fire starts, it can become dangerous really quickly. So, you know, if we've done the right thing and get out early, leave early, that sort of stuff, then it's not a problem. You know, if we've got our pets or our livestock done, you know, that should be part of our plan. We kick off very early. Make sure you're out of the area. Go to somewhere that's less risky. So, like, you know, if we think about this area here in Diamond Creek, you know, if we've got fire coming in, we don't want to just park up in Greensboro, or we don't want to park up in Templestowe, you know, because we're still in the area. You know, well, I'm talking move well out of the area so that you can come back.
So, I'll just ask you a question. You've got the high, extreme and catastrophic. They're the risk areas, but it also gives you an indicator of the damage that they can cause.
Yeah, well, that's right. And, you know, we're about giving people information, and I'm not trying to frighten them, but it is important people understand that, is that, you know, on an extreme fire danger day, it says that the fire will spread quickly and can become dangerous really easily. You know, and as we've touched on before, we can't put a truck on everyone's property. We can't probably guarantee that we'll have a truck on every street. You know, we have. Yeah, sorry. Which you were leading to, you know, being there, being available, and also the response time is something we also discussed as well. It's with limited resources and having to tackle the larger fires. Yeah, exactly. So, look, you know, if I was to summarise this up, really, please, everybody, make sure you're starting to prepare your properties for the summer season that's coming. Make sure you've got the Vic Emergency app loaded, that you've got your range set, that you've got the notification set to fire and alerts in the area, so that you know that information's coming in. You know, listen to the radio, have backup sources of information. That's the key message for everybody.
Beautiful. All right, and don't forget that Plenty Valley FM is an emergency broadcaster as well. So thank you very much, Bruce.
My pleasure.
And Elf. And we're broadcasting.
Are you there?
Oh, there you go. All right.
Hey, how you going?
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. My bad.
It's always the way. Well, we are broadcasting from the CFA Open Day here in Epping, and we're about to talk to Robert Seato, who is the captain of the Epping station, and we're just going to talk a bit about how people can actually prepare for the upcoming fire season, because it's going to be a bit of a doozy one. So, Rob, thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks for joining us. So, what are some of the kind of basic things that people can do to help prepare for the summer?
Well, basically, they need to get ready to act and be prepared. So, I mean, probably over the day, I know the app, the Vic Emergency app's been spruiked a couple of times, and you've also got the CFA website that they can go on and get information. So, predominantly around the area of Epping is mainly grassland. So we're in that inter-urban sort of face area.
Yep.
So grassland is more of the risk, like coming down the highway or the freeway, you've got grassland, and to our north we've got some grassland. Over to the west, we start to go a little bit of grass over there, and then also we get over to the gorge and all that area, which becomes more of your bush sort of area. So, but predominantly around Epping, mainly grassland.
Yep. So there's a bit of an idea maybe that grass fires are not as dangerous as kind of as bushfires as such. Can you speak to that?
Well, grass fires are, any fire is really dangerous.
Yeah.
But grass fires are more of a fast-moving fire. So they move quickly on the grass. They're not as intense. Also depends on what sort of grass is burning. You know, you've got a lot of leaves or bits and pieces that will pick up and move across and spread. So basically the message for a grassland is move 3 streets back. So you've got your the grasslands coming towards you, and you're on the your house is on the grassland. You're mostly at risk. You move back one street, you're a bit safe. But if you can move back 3 streets, that's 2 streets back. That'll be like perfect place to be.
And how about in bushland areas? What's the best thing for people to do there?
In the bushland areas? They're probably make sure that you leave early for bushland. Because you don't want to congest the roads and all that sort of stuff. Basically the same as grassland, but with grassland for this area, like don't get in your car and try and block up the roads and everything. That's why they have the message of go 2 streets. But with bushland, it's a lot more. There could be fire up in the trees and all that sort of stuff, and the embers and that moving across. So with the bushland, you really need to prepare. Work out what the day is, have a look what the fire danger rating for the day is, and then you can decide whether you're going to leave early or you're just going to try and stay around and look after. But
So is it best for people to actually have like a plan? The bushfire plan. What should go into that?
With your bushfire plan, well, in the morning or the night before, you'll find out what the fire danger rating is for the next day.
Yeah, we can talk about that a bit later because you've got the fire ratings.
The fire ratings.
We'll talk about that 1 second, but
No worries.
Yep.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
Where were we? So, prepare yourself, know what you need to do. If there is a fire in the area, because you've got your community radios that will put out warnings. You've got your Vic app. You've got all these different apps that are around, the CFA app, the Emergency Vic app, like I said. Listen to those, but you've got to act sort of quickly in that bushland sort of area because the fire gets intense and all that stuff. It can really dig in, where the grassland areas, they're quick-moving fires and they'll sneak up on you, but that's why we say move back instead of getting in the car and try and block everyone in, which is different than
it's not a good thing for nobody.
No.
So we can just quickly have a look at the kind of the fire rating dangers.
Yeah. So there's
fire danger rating, I should have said. Put in the right order.
We've got 4 different ratings now. So red is catastrophic. Okay, so that means these are most dangerous conditions for a fire. And then it goes down to extreme. These are dangerous fire conditions. Hot, windy, dry conditions. And then you've got your high. Fires can be dangerous. And then you also got moderate. Most fires, can be controlled.
Awesome.
So you'll see them people driving around in all different districts. Some of the electronic boards, some of the manual ones that get changed around in the morning or the night before, once we get told what the rating's going to be. So once the fire danger season comes in, those boards will be activated, and and people just, when they're driving around the whole state, really, let you know what sort of conditions you're expecting going from one end of Victoria to the other.
So it's good just people, like when they're out driving, just be aware of these particular signs that show these fire danger ratings.
And Rob, what are we expecting for the current fire season? I believe it's been a dry winter and autumn.
Yeah, we sort of have. We've got a lot of growth on the ground from the previous, like last year with the rains and everything that's come through. So there's a lot of growth that's around the bottom. We haven't been doing as many burns as what would like to do. So it'll be it'll be an interesting fire season. We didn't have one really last year. There was a couple of fires. And like over the last week, there's been a few fires over to our west where farmers have been burning off. The wind's picked up, they got out of control, and then they've, some jobs have gone to 10 tankers, 20 tankers. So it's out there to burn.
Okay, and are we expecting it to be a long season?
Well, I think we're going to start the fire season, I reckon, the end of November.
Yep.
I reckon that's the talk. We haven't had anything official yet, but that's the talk that's going around, and it might go into the March, April sort of thing. So it might be Easter. We still might have restrictions in Easter. It all depends on what the weather gods want to do.
Okay, terrific. And is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about the fire season or the CFA generally?
Oh, the fire season, we've probably spoken about it a bit, and from our...
Their open day. Sounds like a great day out there, by the way. Let's go to there right now.
Good afternoon, Harry. Yes, it's been a delightful day out here, and it's starting to peter off a little bit, but people have still got about 45 minutes if they'd like to come on down and meet the captain. Is Captain Koala still around? But there are still a number of trucks. There's an old Bedford out the front here from the museum, so you can have a look at what used to happen in bygone days. I think about the 50s, I think that Bedford was introduced. And we've got games for the kids. We've got jumping castle. Face painting has been really, really good today, so hopefully there's plenty of water to wash them off when they get home. And there's sausage sizzle, coffee, and a whole range of other... you can have a look at equipment on the trucks and get explained how they use them. And Alf, you've got someone here that is a very special person at the Diamond Creek Fire Brigade.
Yes, we have, but I'm going to do a quick shout-out first to my local station, which is Research, and I saw the team out there helping out with the Run for the Fires, so well done.
Run for the Fireys today, yeah.
Today. Anyway, so introducing our guest is a captain at Noel Farmer, and he'll be talking to us about recruitment. And maybe you want to kick off and tell us how you got involved within CFA.
Yeah, I've been here 19 years. They had an open day very similar to this. Just turned up, what it's all about, and just put my name down.
And take it away.
Yeah, pretty much. No expectations as to what they did or anything like that. And, yeah.
That's great. And for someone who's coming in, there's all different age groups that have some work with CFA. We've noticed Bill touched on the amount of kids here. I believe you have a junior brigade.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 11 to 15-year-olds. And then we have 16, 17-year-old, which are senior members. And then anyone, my oldest member is 81.
Wow.
So,
I'm getting there.
Yeah. He's been here 50 years. I've got 3 of them that have been here 50 years.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So they outrank the Bedford truck out there.
Virtually.
We notice it's a fairly team environment. It looks like a fairly family environment. 100%. So, for someone looking for that new hobby or new team sport, I imagine there's probably a little bit of competition between the stations now and then. And so a person walking in, what would be their initial start of training? What would they be looking at?
They need to register online. That then does police checks, working with children's checks, all that kind of stuff, because we're an emergency service. We do an interview with you. Well, initially we'll, when we get a group of recruits, 6 or 7, we'll sit down, talk to them for an hour or two, show them around the station what we do, how we do it. Sometimes they go, yeah, this isn't for me, which is fine. And then, we'll do a one-on-one where we'll kind of grill them a little bit to find out, they've got to fit in.
Yeah.
Everyone gets along, which is, we don't want to break that. So, we're a big team at the end of the day. So.
It's a great thing. Now, also, a lot of people, when they think of CFA, they think of going out in the trucks and fighting the fires, and of course there's many other roles within the building, within maintaining the trucks. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So we have operational members who get on trucks and non-operational. The non-operationals, we have a few, and they just do anything and everything. They can pick up, sometimes we've got to pick up breathing apparatus cylinders, so they'll go over and get them picked up for us. There's cleaning of trucks, it's just community education, anything and everything.
Fantastic. And have you worked in some of these other roles, or just concentrating on being in the trucks?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so what's with today's event? We've seen a lot of people come through. Have you had many making some inquiries about joining?
A little bit. Here's where they come in and go, oh, this is all right, nothing about it. And then we go from there.
Yeah, but today every little kid that came in wanted to be a fireman, didn't they?
Absolutely. They love it. That's what makes it worth it.
And you've even got the dress-ups there for them too.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
You've been around the brigade for about 19 years. The transition from being walking through the door and now becoming captain, how did you find that journey?
In the middle of that was Black Saturday.
Yep.
So that was changed everything. So the technologies we've got, the way our trucks work, they didn't have crew protection sprays at that time.
Yep.
We do now.
Yep.
So there was a lot of learnings out of Black Saturday that changed how we do things.
And you've probably learnt a lot yourself and been trained a lot. Yeah, and that training doesn't stop, does it?
No.
Since
you're always doing skills maintenance, picking up, doing courses when they're available. I've recently become a structural or nearly a fully endorsed structural and motor vehicle fire investigator. So in our district, which goes from Christmas Hills to past Werribee, we don't have any.
Yep.
So there's 3 of us that have doing the course to support the community, when something happens.
Right. There was a question there, and I've forgotten what it is. You go, Alf.
Well, actually, I didn't know about the fire investigation, so it's another thing that we're looking at. What's a typical day of a volunteer?
Yeah, so we're all volunteers. The Diamond Creek's a full volunteer station. A lot of us, post-COVID, get to flexible working arrangements. We're working from home or work in the office. So I work from here 2 days a week and 3 in the office. So if I'm not around in the office, then I can't turn out. But you always get a fire truck. But it's good.
Does your normal work enhance your role as a firefighter?
For me, kind of. I'm a technical manager for an industrial fastener company, but I'm very handy with stuff.
Yeah.
And the people that are quite handy normally make the better firefighters.
Hands-on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because you've got to think at the moment, if something's not going right, how are you going to fix it?
Yeah.
Or how do you help somebody? Or
yeah, exactly. And as you said, you had a call out this morning.
Yep.
And it was a small fire. Who replenishes the truck? Is that those people that the non-operational people just pick up and do that?
Yeah, not necessarily. For that, we would have just been putting a bit more water in the truck.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So we don't service the trucks. That gets done for us.
Yeah. But you have to keep them fire ready, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you have to keep them clean and tidy.
That's normally on a Sunday morning when we have station duties. Go over the truck, make sure everything's there, make sure things are working.
Yep. And have training days on a Sunday as well?
Yeah, they train normally, 10 o'clock to midday.
Yep.
And then we have midweek training as well.
And what about equipment inspection? When you do that?
So they'll do that when they're doing their truck checks.
Yep.
So they'll check the breathing apparatus because that's critical.
Yep.
It keeps us alive.
Pumps on the trucks?
Yeah, exactly. You run the pump, make sure everything's working.
Yeah. And do you have a, what do you call it, an emergency truck that goes out to these vehicle incidents and things like that? You have to check all that equipment weekly?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. Some of it we only check once a month, but the critical stuff's weekly.
Yeah, we've been having a look at the tanker inventory sheets up there, and I was having a bit of a read between our interviews, and geez, that'd take a while to do, to pull it all out, put it back in again and check it.
Yeah, exactly right. So the 2 tankers, they're grass fires, bush fires, small car fires. The pumper, which is essentially for structure fires, and other things as well, but that's, a toolbox on wheels. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to check on it.
Exactly. I was just looking at how they use all the different all the different connections on the truck to cover all the different generations of connectors. So when you had MFB and CFA and all that sort of thing, so you've got to be, as you said, you've got to be pretty hands-on and have good knowledge of equipment and a mechanical brain, so to speak, to look at things and analyse them very quickly.
And everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, so some people aren't that way sometimes, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong. Yeah. So they complement us otherwise.
Yeah. So everybody works in, and that's what
it's
forms
the whole
team.
teamwork. Yeah. Exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you've got the command vehicles as well.
Yep.
So us being involved with radio, there's a few links there.
Yeah, 100%.
Operating that. So anyone interested in radios, that might be another avenue within CFA.
Yeah, we've just been given new radios, so they've got SIM cards in them, so when we lose radio reception, it jumps across to the network. Yep. So theoretically we shouldn't lose as much coverage.
Yep.
The new radio's got maps built onto them. It's crazy.
Oh, right, so instead of having the big screen like in the car, you've got it on the... you've got a portable one.
So if you're in the middle of the bush and you hit a duress button or something, we can find you.
Oh, right. But when you're in the middle of the bush, there's no street directory.
No. We've got the lats and longs and...
Yeah. Oh, right. And what's the best part of being a CFA volunteer from your perspective?
You see some funny stuff, but
what in the depot or
out in the community?
Out in the community.
But yeah, it's the whole friendships. You know, I've got some pretty close friends. You know, one of my best mates is 80 years old.
Wow.
Double my age guy. But yeah, it's the teamwork and everyone getting together for a common cause.
And develops that camaraderie.
100%.
And also there's women in the brigade too.
I was the only brigade. I was the only brigade in the whole of CFA, which is around 1,200 brigades with 3 female lieutenants.
Oh, right.
So the way the CFA brigade worked, captain, number of lieutenants, we've got 4, and 3 of them were female.
Oh, right. And you've got a very good one there that runs upstairs pretty well, I understand.
Yeah, Fiona, yeah.
And she hasn't been topped yet by anybody in terms of the run.
Keeps winning the female one.
Yeah. God, she's as thin as a whippet, isn't she?
She's at gym, I don't know, 5:30 every morning.
Yeah. I used to do that until I couldn't get up out of bed. All right. Well, thank you very much
thank you
for coming on today and telling us about it. And this is our last interview for Diamond Creek, so thank you very much and good luck with the fire season coming up. And you don't need luck, you just need good management.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we were talking to your communications officer earlier, and some great work is being done there.
Definitely.
Yeah, the more education we do and the less fires we go to.
Exactly. All right, thank you very, very much.
Yes.
And thank you, Alf.
Thank you, Bill.
Bill McGillivray, we're coming to you from the CFA at Diamond Creek at 83 Mainhurst Bridge Road. And back to the studio, Harry, and we'll be back about 1:45 to sign off. Thank you.
No worries. All right, thanks, Bill. Good stuff at the Epping CFA outside broadcast open day. So let's do that right now, and away we go.
Thank you, Harry. And here we are at the CFA Open Day at 2 O'Hearns Road, Epping. The open day is on until 2 o'clock, and there are still plenty of families coming through, kids enjoying the activities. There's the sausage sizzle, which is still operating. Looks like if you want a coffee, you might be too late. The man is packing up, but sausages are still available, and I've seen a few kids walking around with ice creams, which look quite nice as well. We're talking now with Jane Flynn from the, is it the Whittlesea
City Neighbourhood Watch.
Whittlesea City Neighbourhood Watch. Why don't you tell us about Neighbourhood Watch and what you do?
I'd love to, and thanks for asking us. Our main role is, so we sort of cover the whole of the Whittlesea Shire, which is basically Whittlesea right through to Thomastown, Bundoora and everything. So it's quite a large LGA. And our main role is just to create awareness in the village, in the Shire, of safety. It's how to keep your home safe, how to keep yourself safe and everything else. We do have a police officer as part of our meetings and everything all the time. So it's in liaison. We've got a Facebook page, which I've seen you guys on, so I know you guys follow us too and everything else. And that's really probably the basis for people to start to actually find out what we do.
Terrific. But you have regular meetings as well?
We do. So we have meetings generally once a month. We would love more members. We've got lots of members on paper, but not a lot of members that actually come along and everything else. But we do advertise that on our Facebook post. But generally once a month, on the third Monday of each month, at the Epping RSL. And everything is where we hold those meetings.
Terrific. And if people want to get more involved, how do they go about that?
Okay, so at this stage, because it's the end of the year and there's not really going to be any more meetings till February, it probably is best to just go onto the Facebook page and just ask for a DM. I'm actually the secretary, so I get all those messages and then I can contact them privately so they don't have to put their details out, of course, across the public. And then we'd love to invite them along just to come and have a look and see what it is that we do. We work really quite closely with CFA, SES and everything as well, and try and support them in just this safety awareness
Terrific. And so that's you obviously tell people how to secure their homes.
Yes. And, we have small giveaways. One of them is just a sheet where they actually take it home, tick the boxes that they can say, yes, we've got this. At the back, there's actually a scorecard, and it actually is quite a wake-up for people where they go, oh, maybe it's not that secure after all. Simple little things can make it much. And your car, in particular.
I think that's a big thing. I don't think people realise how vulnerable their cars can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, these days, unfortunately. No, that's wonderful. And so we have just a short time left, unfortunately, but is there any particular message that you would like to give to the listeners?
I think the message is, the old-fashioned message is look out for your neighbours, keep an eye on things and everything else. If you can be friends with your neighbours, if you're going away, so that they at least know that there's not going to be somebody there, rather than announcing it to the world.
Terrific. I think that's a great message. So thank you very much, Jane.
Thank you.
Jane Flynn from the Whittlesea City Neighbourhood Watch. And as Jane said, you can get in contact with them through their Facebook page.
Yeah.
We are broadcasting from the Epping CFA Open Day, but now it's back to Harry in the studio.
No worries. Thanks, Craig. Good stuff.
From tomorrow, and it's anticipated.
I love the local news.
I love the music variety.
And all the local sport.
24 hours a day. It's all local. 88.6 Plenty Valley FM.